All right, we are seeing markets try to have a little bit of momentum into these closing bells. For more on the markets and really to wrap up this week, let's now bring in Alan Nuckman, Chief Market Strategist at Agora Financial from the trading floor of the CBOE in Chicago. Alan, great to catch up with you today. Give us your roundup. What are you seeing at the end of this week? What a week.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of positives. We're seeing a positive day today, a big bounce here this morning. I truly believe that these trade war concerns are going to be solved, and the market will continue along its merry way, which we've got to remember, we are in a 9-year-plus bull market. So I'm a believer that that will get fixed. And if you look at the VIX over my shoulder, the volatility index, the fear factor, is down here at an 18 handle, which is down below the $20 level. It's the halfway point of this recent rise from 11 to that extreme high that we had in October at 29. So we've had some relaxation in that fear, and that's usually a very positive sign for stocks.
So, but the fact that you mentioned that we're in the 9th year of a bull market, what's that leading you and your colleagues to believe in terms of what happens into the year end? Are we going to actually see a rally and also 2019?
Well, I consider this, decline that we've seen, some profit taking. We had a very healthy bounce off that bottom 2 weeks ago, lost some ground, but we're trying to regain that once again. I'm still a believer in this big uptrend. Think of all the things and all the crisis du jour that we've had over the last years and years the market's been able to overcome. If you look at the earnings season, went very, very well, and corporations are making record profits. So that's what truly drives the markets. I think we had a little bit of a psychological turn, but I think that's going to be an opportunity, as we've seen over and over again. The driver, I think, could be the dollar index. Let's talk really quickly about the dollar. Made new highs here this week, and we've got a lower weekly close. So that's how a top can get put in, or it can stop rising, and that could be helpful to the markets and a lot of the, as you know, it being in Canada, a lot of those metals, miners, and energy sectors.
What did you make of President Trump's comments surrounding China? Do you think that we'll actually see some type of compromise, some common ground? That's the better way to word it.
Absolutely, yes. And not to get into politics, I focus on price, and the price has rebounded each and every time. Yes, this trade issue has been hanging over our heads, and it's been lingering, but I think a lot of these things get self-inflicted. If you remember what happened with NAFTA with Canada, obviously that should have never been down that road where people had that kind of concern that we wouldn't continue a partnership with our neighbors to the north. And then NAFTA was figured out with Mexico, and I think these things will all be solved. But let's look at it as a pattern of what it is, whereas the administration comes out with these, dramatic statements and bluster, and they do get solved eventually, and I think the markets will reflect that. Also, you're seeing gold bounce a bit, off that $1,200 an ounce, and I think crude, which has had a big, healthy decline, I don't think it's over in crude. I think the global growth story is still here, and from a risk-reward standpoint, I think these pullbacks in stocks and some of these energy sector stocks as well offer some good opportunity for the long term if you can look 6 months out.
Okay, we got to leave it there, Alan. Great to catch up with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great, safe weekend. That's Alan Nuckman from the trading floor at the CBOE in Chicago.